Venerable Chini suggested that I talk a little bit about the trip to New York. And Venerable Children and I just arrived back 2 days ago. And what's really in my mind and heart right now is this tremendous gratitude that I feel for everyone who helped make the trip happen. And I'll just give you a little bit of background to this. Initially, it was going to be just Venerable Tarpa and Venerable Senta going. And then at some point, our dear friend Diana Cutler got wind of the fact that Venerable Children was not going, and in Diana's mind that this was an impossibility. And so she decided that Venerable Children had to go, must go. And so she pulled out all the stops to make this happen. And in the end, she made it possible for 4 Abbey nuns to be hearing all of the teachings that took place in New York City. So first of all, my heart goes out to Diana, who just took the reins and flew off with this project, getting us to New York. And then once we were there, well, first of all, I should say that then Shantideva Center found out that Venerable Children was going to be in New York, and they did all the things possible to request her to teach. And they, with Jennifer Kim's masterful leadership, started preparing for the visit and making everything happen to host us there. And I'm just amazed at Jennifer's ability to engage people at the center, and with her kindness and constant supervision in everything, she got people at the center to make sure we were very well taken care of. So people like Desmond and Tricia were also involved in this care. As well, someone by the name of Frank made sure that we got to New York, and Peggy Shannon made sure we had housing along with Tracy Thrasher. So the number of people involved in making this whole trip happen are just in very large numbers. So I'm going to definitely leave the topic of what His Holiness talked about, emptiness, to Venerable Children in future talks. But what I am capable of sharing is something that His Holiness said to us on the second day of the teachings, where he was talking about Gesong Kappa's essence of true eloquence. So on the first day, he was, of course, sitting in this beautiful throne that they had built for him. On the second day, he was sitting on a chair. And the Beacon Theater is the location of the teachings. It's a very intimate space. It has a seating capacity of 2,900 people, but it felt very, very intimate. And so at one point, His Holiness really leaned forward in his chair, and it felt like he was addressing each and every one of us. I felt personally addressed. I'm sure everyone did. And these are the encouraging words from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So we've got to think of these words every single time that we get discouraged about the difficulty of emptiness and our own throw in the towel mentality and I give up mentality and poor me mentality. And this is what His Holiness says. I can assure you that if you study, meditate, and put in the effort, it has the power to transform. I think of myself as just another human being, not as His Holiness the Dalai Lama. If you too put in the effort, you have the opportunity to transform your mind. So then His Holiness went on to caution us against expecting change to come quickly, which is of course what we all want, and saying that it might take 30 years or longer, but to keep trying. Now, I don't know about the 30 years part. This is a many lifetime project. And His Holiness started thinking seriously about emptiness in his 17 or 18 in this life. So, let's get this in perspective here. So then he goes on to say, since we believe in life after life, we may have to try again next time. And then he remarked that he has noticed that some top scholars find difficult what he finds easy, which he attributes to propensities from having studied in previous lives. And then he counseled the older people in the audience not to think, oh, okay, now I'm old, there's no point in studying. He said that up to the final breath, it's worth studying. So whether or not to make up the effort is up to us. Even at the time of the Buddha, there was no sense that everyone should become a Buddhist. The main point, however, is to become a good human being. And then he said this, which was just hilarious. Understanding emptiness is tough. But don't complain about that to me. Take it up with the Buddha. So 911 to the Buddha. And so for everyone in New York who made this trip a possibility for us, I named some of the people. There's many more people I don't know the names of. So please make your plan in 2015 to come to the Abbey so that we can really repay your kindness. And so that you can join us in the beauty here at the Abbey and hearing the teachings of the Buddha. And just not giving up, as His Holiness says. It's going to take a long time, so you might as well come to the Abbey and and take this opportunity to work on emptiness, which is very difficult. There's no doubt about it. And so, stay tuned for more teachings on emptiness from Venerable Priests and Children.